Hey, welcome back to your favorite boomer. I'm Rich, hopefully becoming your favorite boomer. And today, I was struggling on what I was going to talk about, actually. Um, but it came to me all of a sudden as I was looking out the window here. Um, my parents passed away, and I stepped into their spot. Uh, what that means is when I was younger, uh, I'd look to mom and dad for advice and questions, and they were wise and they took care of things, but they're gone now, and now I am the person that my son will come to for advice and help. And hopefully, if I did my job right, uh, he has all the tools he needs in order to adult properly. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes he may uh, look at the way I do things or I think, and it doesn't fit with the current style of thinking. Uh, but I I was born and raised probably a little different than a lot of boomers. You'll see that my father was a little older when he got married. Actually, my dad was born in 1921, and I got somebody leaving me a message here, so we'll see how that goes. Uh, so I was raised really. He'd lived through the Depression, which was a great forming uh, of his psyche, and he did things a certain way because of the way he was raised, or that era. Now, after that, he taught me a lot of stuff. Like he used to save nails. It's a little weird that way, actually. But uh, I was right there with him. I had a little piece of railroad track. It was about this long, and he had cut a groove in it that I could use with my little hammer, and this is it. This actual little hammer uh, to straighten nails, and then we'd sort them by size. And he had cans and jars and all kinds of stuff and fasteners of wood and things that he was recycling and reusing, and that's how they got by in during the Depression in the 30s and 40s, pre World War II. Now, my era, we didn't have to worry about that, but so we were kind of a little more carefree, and we had a lot of uh, less less difficulties than the generation before us. So we do things maybe a little differently. But what I'm circling around and I'm really kind of chattering on because there's a lot of thoughts going on inside my head. It was raining when I woke up this morning, and it was dark and it was kind of gloomy. But that passed, and now sunshine is out there and it's drying the rain up. And that's what triggered the thought there, is that was the passing of mom and dad. And that generation now is gone, and now you're in my generation. And actually, my generation is the one that's sunsetting, and then the younger ones are going to be taking my spot in as far as being wise and trying to keep things going. What drove my parents' generation was a very deep relationship with the church, and because they didn't have too much else to entertain themselves, they didn't have the internet, they didn't have television, They didn't have. I think so. They had church socials, and frankly, because I'm a tweener, kind of in between generations, I was with mom and dad and all the time going to church socials, and my reality or my all my friends and my social life revolves around the church. Now, maybe I noticed that, or I knew that that was uh, kind of constricting on, and I didn't really want to have that stigma placed on my sons. Uh, I didn't push too much to make him come to church with us or center his life around a small group of people like are at the church because, well, there was so much else to do. It was pretty easy for us to move from one end of the country to the other. It's convenient. Things that my parents' generation didn't have. I had, but I didn't use a lot. So my children, my son actually, I only have one child, my son, but he then is savvy with how to use electronic things and how to use I think he kind of takes some things for granted. Uh, where I was there when it was invented. Uh, what I'm trying to say is that everybody's gonna. There's a poem or a line of thinking that I saw somewhere, and it strikes fear in me a little bit. And it was that hard times make strong men, and strong men make easy times. Easy times make weak men. Weak men make hard times. And then hard times make strong men. So there's a cycle. And so I was terrified that mom and dad they lived through hard times, uh, and so they were strong, and so they made it easier times. That's where I came from, and so uh, maybe I'm weaker than they are, and I didn't want if I had anything that I had any regrets is that my children or child didn't I didn't do the things that would continue to make him strong. He's going to have the tools there to gain strength from. But as a whole population, I worry a little bit because frankly I'm getting old, and somebody's going to have to take care of me, and somebody may not have all the wherewithals that to take care of my creature comforts as I lay dying, and because it all is over just like that. Life is short. It's a short cycle. So if I'm thinking about a message that goes behind this, is that cycle, hard times to easy times, back to hard times. Keep that in your mind and try to make it all kind of even. Not hard and not easy. Make it kind of somewhere in between, and just be happy. And selfishly, take care of me when I get old because it's going to happen sooner than you think. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.